Well, this was certainly an interesting one to read. First of all, if you like what I do, please subscribe to the channel. We are well on our way to 10,000 subs. I never thought I would say that. Earlier on this year, we were on 7,000 subs and we were climbing at a rate of about 30 a week, you know? It was going to take me so long, so long to get to where I wanted to be. Again, 10k. But we are so close to it now. Like, if you guys could just, if you're watching this for the first time, subscribe, go on there, help us out. Because the algorithm seems to be picking up the channel again. Seems to be. So this is the time where I really need to make hay while the sun is shining. And make sure that the channel is growing and is here for you for the next couple of years. Because as I always say, I'm the mental health guy. I'm the happiness guy. If you're sick and tired, you just want to laugh after a good day at work, then come and listen to me. Come on the Discord. Come and talk to us. We have a really cool background of people there who can help you out with all kinds of stuff, whether it be mental health or needing to speak to somebody, or even just getting a game of Warhammer in these days, which I know can be a bit of a ball ache. Go on there. It's free. I don't charge you for it. It's all there. And just come on and have a good time. Anyway, let's get into the story, because this one was it's fair to say, I was drinking my tea earlier on today, and I nearly spat it out my nose. It was that funny. Well, it got funny towards the end, but the first bit was also quite poignant. Anyway, this is a story by Arctic Tim. And it's titled, You People Disgust Me, which I think is pretty apt. He says, Yo North, I am a former Games Workshop manager, and can only say that I wholeheartedly agree with your assessment of where the company is going over the next decade. I just finished my time at the company 2 months ago to open my own gaming store that doubles as a model painting studio, and we are going great guns. A lot of GW managers are thinking in a similar way to me, that Games Workshop is moving away from the gaming side of the hobby and slowly transitioning to being a Netflix or Disney of the tabletop world, i.e. everything crucial locked behind a subscription and no new huge additions of the game. So, people like me are leaving and getting ahead of the curve by creating space for gamers to go when Games Workshop inevitably leaves them in the dust. Anyway, I have a very funny story for you that injected a lot of cringe. I heard your reaction to a similar story, and it was so priceless that I had to write in. So, my Games Workshop store was in a suburban area of the United States, and I will go into no further detail on that due to the nature of this story. As such, we get a lot of families and teenagers coming in to take part in the hobby and having fun. In terms of growth, it is great, as we sell a lot of KPI level models. A KPI, for those of you who don't know, is Key Performance Indicator. So the more of these that you sell, the more Games Workshop HQ are happy with you. Those tend to be things like, the starter box sets, start collecting box sets, things like that. And that keeps HQ off our backs. Yeah, so the more you sell of those things, the more HQ leave you alone. I would run tournaments and campaigns with little oversight from head office, and we would have an insane amount of fun in the store. On one such Saturday, I am going great guns, selling starter sets and all sorts, seeing my sales target slowly tick within reach, and then us reach past it. One of my teenage regulars, around 15 years of age, a lad named Michael, comes up to me and asks to use my toilet in the back. I asked, stupidly, if it's an emergency. Yeah, dude, don't ask that. Just say no. Just say no. The minute you... from one teacher, as a teacher, never ask that. And the kid says, can I go to the toilet? No. No, you're in class. You're in class. Wet yourself. I don't care. Wet yourself. I know that sounds really bad, but if one of your kids is caught walking around the school, because they were meant to go to the toilet, and now they're just walking around the school, as kids always seem to do, you're the one in trouble. You'll get the kid frog marched back to your class, and a very annoyed looking, a deputy head knocking on the door saying, yeah, this kid was just walking around, right? Happens all the time, and whenever, I relish telling kids they can't go to the toilet these days. It's brilliant. Because you just say, no, you're not going. But, no, I don't care. Wet yourself. Wet yourself. Wet yourself in front of everybody. I don't care. I'm carrying on the lesson now. Right? In a Games Workshop, even worse, because in a school, you can get reprimanded for it, a little bit. In Games Workshop, it could be a sackable offence, depending on what they're doing when they're back there. If they're shooting up drugs, or they're, stealing, or they're self-harming, you are in serious trouble. because everybody in that store is your responsibility, my friend. You can't let them out of sight. You can't let grown men out of sight in the store. You can't let adults go back there, let alone minors. Alright? So, I ask stupidly if it's an emergency, and he, of course, says yes. So, now I kind of have to let him go. A very serious error, I know. I was caught in the moment talking with a big potential sale, so got distracted when he asked the question. Yeah, they always time it that way as well. When you're distracted and you've got a million things to do, that's when they throw that question at you to see if you'll bite. And unfortunately, Tim, you did in this one case. Michael goes into the back, and I head over to the hobby table, where a few of the hobby girls are giggling away to themselves. One of the guys there states that they are just happy because they were teasing Michael. I say, "Oh no, is he okay?" expecting that he probably went into the back to cry. To which the guy says, "Oh, no, he's more than okay. It was not that type of teasing, don't worry." To which I, have a very strange response. At this, I tell him that this is hardly appropriate for a store like Games Workshop, and ask them to behave themselves. Okay, cool. I turn and see my area manager walk into the store. Hooray! Amazing timing. I walk over and talk to him, and he is seemingly impressed by the empty stand of KPI box sets and the full store of younger people. His nose goes up when he sees my full gaming table and that it is a 6x4 table. He pulls me aside and tells me all the normal evils of having games in the store, what kind of people it brings into the store, and that this is not what the company is about, blah, 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 blah. You get the drift. Yeah, I mean, I would say in this case, though, he's kind of right, because they've been teasing this kid who's now gone into the back of your store. So, But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, normally, yes, it would be an eye roller. I realise, at any point, Michael could pop out of the back of the store in front of the area manager and get me in serious trouble. Having anyone, let alone a minor, in the back of the shop on their own is a huge no-no. Yeah, exactly. After another 45 minutes, the area manager says he is heading for a coffee before innocently asking me if my coffee machine is in the back still. I say it is, smiling, as I deal with another customer. And my face turns to pure horror as I realise he is heading straight into ground zero. Well, shit. Nothing I can do now. I resign myself to getting fired and pace around the store. Okay, if you think you know where this story is going, by the way, if you're watching this, let's see. Let's just see. Finally, after about 10 minutes, I hear a loud commotion in the back, and Michael walks out, straight outside, waiting for his parents. And my area manager beckons me over. He is kind of laughing, and I act confused. Good lad. Yeah, confusion is always the best way. Act like you didn't know he's back there. He says it's fine, as the store is very busy, and it's a one-man store, but one kid snuck into my toilet to relieve himself. I apologise, but I don't know why that's funny. The area manager quietly explains that he opened the door to the toilet, which has no lock, only to find Michael with his pants around his ankles, cell phone in hand, headphones in, quietly wanking himself into an early grave. He quickly closed the door and told Michael to come out. Explained the store policy, the policy of like not masturbating in the store. Explained the store policy that he had to leave for now. To be fair, the area manager didn't act like an occurrence like this was out of the ordinary at all. Yeah, that's good as not, man. That's good as not. If you let people who are in the hobby are strange. And quite a lot of the teenagers who are in the hobby are, shall we say, not odd, but like they're learning how to act. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of kids who are more streetwise about their own bodies, about what they're doing out in the wide world. Yet they won't go to Games Workshop. Most of them will come to you will be quite innocent. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is right and what the hell is wrong. But yeah, this is why you don't send people into the back of your store. Oh. After another hour or so, he left, and Michael was still outside. He darted into an alleyway to avoid the area manager. I talked to him when I was locking up the store, and said that what he did was beyond the pale, and he needed to think about how he acted in store if he ever wanted to come back. I had trusted him to be prompt in the back, and as he knows the trouble I could get into, and he abused that trust. He apologised, I told no one else, and that was the end of this story. I also had a word with his friends that if the incident was even discussed in store, they would be banned immediately. It worked. Sigh. The joys of working for Games Workshop, or Games Crash as I like to call it. Cheers North, Tim. So there you go. Don't let people in the back of your store. They're going to abuse your trust. They're going to mess things up, and you're going to end up with a lot of explaining to do. If you've ever been in a Games Workshop store and you've had a similar story of a really cringe moment happening either in the store, in the front, or in the back, let me know. I get these from Games Workshop managers all the time, but they're not always as well written or as funny as this one. So, let me know. But for now, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow where we will be discussing another 40k story, or a talk about the hobby. I'll see you then. Have a wonderful day, and have a good one.